Oh yeah, and we're back, and it is that time. Oh yeah, the notifications is popping. We got we're bringing now live to on the scene. We got another Kyle Foul scooter to shooter situation. Go ahead and take it away, Chuck, while it's in progress right now.
They encountered injured people. They went into the building and they found a deceased juvenile who they believe to be the shooter inside on the grounds of the school. And that seems to have been the end of the shooting. But once again, there are victims injured, 5 injured. 4 students, we assume 4 people inside the school killed, the shooter dead as well, given the fact that the police chief said police did not fire a shot. That would suggest that the shooter killed himself. This is an active crime scene as we go. So for more, let's bring in Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas, Senior Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky, and former FBI agent Brad Garrett, a contributor, and our former Chief of Detectives at the NYPD, Bob Boyce, who joins us by phone. And Aaron, let me go to you first. I think I covered the waterfront that you have been covering, but if you've heard anything else, let me know. This has been a quick resolution to a terrible situation.
It has. It was just about an hour and a half ago when police in Madison, Wisconsin, Terry, said they responded to the Abundant Life Christian School on the outskirts of the city. Responded not only Madison, but officers from all over the county and the state pouring in after reports of a shooter. And police confirm a juvenile shooter opened fire, seems to have shot and injured 5 people, killed 4 people before taking his or her own life. And the authorities did not confirm whether it was a male or female juvenile, but it raises immediate questions, Terry, about how this juvenile was able to get a gun and get it inside the school, and whether the juvenile, him or herself, was a student at that school. The police said they do not believe there is any additional threat. The priority now is getting kids reunited with parents.
All right, Aaron, thank you very much. They're working on that. We have a statement now from the White House on this shooting. Quote, the president has been briefed on the school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. Senior White House officials are in touch with local counterparts in Madison to provide support as needed. I'd like to go to Bob Boyce now, former chief of the NYPD and frequent contributor on these 2 frequent events. And Bob, it does sound as if this was quickly resolved because the shooter took his or her own life.
Just think, if the shooter didn't take their own life, how many more deaths would have happened?
Bob. Hi, Terry. How are you? I'm sorry to get the shooter took their own life.
Yeah,
Isn't that really
he's doing the
convenient?
best job he can in difficult circumstances. And he's going to give the broadest information he has.
It is convenient that the shooter took their own life.
Quick time. So,
Very
terrible day.
convenient.
And you see all the agencies responding. These basic protocols we hear all the time across the nation. So, just a horrible day. And we'll figure out the other things later, what happens.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bob. And let me go to Brad Garrett. Brad, what do you make of now that the information is fleshing out a little bit, that we're getting a little bit fuller picture of what happened? What are you sensing about this particular incident?
My sense would be, Terry, what preliminary information they had about this shooter. Typically, particularly younger shooters, it's sometimes based on bullying and other maybe emotional, psychological issues. But they're revenge driven. I mean, that's why people go to schools. They feel powerless. They feel powerful with a gun in their hands.
The defense already.
They many times go after the people that they feel have harmed them, which could include,
He's
obviously,
setting up the overall
staff,
defense
teachers,
for
etc.
all future.
But the other thing, Terry, is that typically younger shooters, and they just say juvenile,
Look, he
so I
even
don't know
saying
what
to go
that means
younger
exactly yet, tend to talk more about what they're about to do. So my guess is there's going to be information either in social media, classmates, parents, etc., that may have pieces of information.
So you think the parents
the obvious
knew,
concern in these cases is, was there enough red flags that somebody could have stopped him before he got to the school today.
Oh no, why you
And
say
obviously we
him?
don't
They
know
said
the
they
answer to
didn't know
that,
if it was a
but
male or a
that's what you're going to
female.
be looking for, because that's where all of these parents where their children were killed today and injured are going to turn to as to how did this happen and why didn't you stop it?
And that is the refrain weekly in this country, it seems, when we get shootings like this. And let me go on that issue to Pierre Thomas, our senior justice correspondent who covers these stories individually and has a broader take as well in your reporting, Pierre. I was struck by what Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes said, that they drill on this all the time, his forces, his officers, and they were doing so just recently. And here at 10:57 Madison time, they get the call.
Terry, the good news is that they drill all the time. The bad news is that they have to, because this is now a routine part of American life.
Wow.
Last year, 656 mass shootings defined as a shooting where 4 or more people are injured or killed. In this case, what struck me immediately is that they were able to identify the shooter as someone from the school, a student at the school. And that gives them a lot of information, obviously, about the child's background, who the parents are.
Nobody knew nothing.
That leads into the question of how that child got access to a weapon. So I think the takeaway from this story, yet again, just based on what the chief said, is this is now a situation where we have chronic epidemic violence, although the news is good in that violent crime is down substantially this year compared to previous years and previous recent years. And in fact, if you look at mass shootings so far to date, there have been 486. And we're almost at the end of the year, when last year, as I said earlier, there was 656. So while that news is good, it still reminds you that we have hundreds of these things happening all the time at a rate of more than 1 per day. So that's just simply the cold hard facts. And, you know, the fact that around the holidays, it's not abnormal, almost routine to see it because of the stressors that people are under in some of these situations. But I think that's the thing that we mourn, that this has now happened again, and it's likely to happen.
What stress is under a kid under? Well, I mean, what?
Alas, there's no question of that. Aaron Katursky, I want to go back to you on sort of the range of responses that we've heard from Police Chief Sean Barnes, from getting on the scene right away to try and set up unification. They're really on it, as you have to be after an incident like this.
Police agencies, because in large part of what Pierre was talking about, the frequency of these have gotten a lot better. The preference is to go in right away, stop the shooting, stop the dying to the extent possible, figure out who did it, and neutralize the threat. And as soon as police in Wisconsin entered the school, they were able to see the juvenile shooter was dead inside the building. So they knew almost right away that the threat was reduced, and they did a couple of rounds of follow-on checks to clear the classrooms and some of the vehicles parked outside to make sure there was no follow-on threat. While they did that, they put area schools on lockdown out of an abundance of caution. Right now, the police believe there is nothing else to worry about except getting all these terrified kids back with their parents. As for who the juvenile is, police didn't say whether male or female or what the weapon used was, where the weapon came from. That's part of the reason why the ATF is on the scene. So they have a lot more investigative work to do. But in terms of the response, it all unfolded in about an hour, Terry.
All right.
You guys are already fumbling
no
and
question.
bumbling over the
Thank you, Aaron. I want to go back to Bob Boyce now on this, the way that this ended. It ended without the intervention of police in terms of firing. Obviously, they were there on the scene right away, and we don't know exactly what happened, except that they found a juvenile down who they believe to be the shooter, and that person is dead.
Right.
This is one of those in which this person seems to have taken his or her own life at the end of taking.
They keep saying his or her like they ain't just
Terry,
flipped and
we'll
say
never
him
know
already.
exactly what's in that young man's mind or young woman's mind, whatever the case may be. But you can see when the police are coming, this thing is ending quickly. It generally forces the shooter to make a decision. And that's when we have these suicides, these self-inflicted wounds, because the police are coming and they can hear them coming in. And police commands as well.
Nah, man. How many of the shooters done brought out guards fondled and taken to covert?
And that's
Stop
something that
it.
these officers have to live with every day. They know they have to do this, and that's accepted across the country. Protocols are working in the strangest sense, but they're not stopping anything, and that's the bad part of this. The protocols are working, but
just like the healthcare system, we don't do preventable methods.
Yeah, that
we don't
is
do
a
preventive
bigger problem.
medicine.
Thank you,
We
Bob.
wanna
Brad, I
treat
want to go
the problem
to you
after
on
it
that. So
happens.
the
That's
police
what we're doing
response
here is
might
treating
very
the
well
problem
have saved
after.
lives, given what Bob was just talking about.
Listen, all right, so look.
Cornered and trapped and feeling the thing is over, the shooter seems to have taken her own life.
Somebody just responded to the video.
And keep in mind, Terry, that by and large, mass shooters know that this is basically a suicide mission in some form or fashion. They either take their own life or they force the
it was on Facebook,
so,
but we're gonna keep it moving though.
Weird that it's not coming
I want to
up.
pick up on something
I turned it down
Bob
a little bit.
brought up in that
hold on,
much better job. And
look, Gomer Palace talking. Hold
because
on.
we respond so quickly, we save lives. Most mass shootings occur under 5 minutes. My guess is this one probably didn't last even that long, potentially. But the point being, the breakdown,
the minimization,
is that
my
we're not
God,
doing a good enough job collectively.
Maybe that's why they keep happening.
In sort of analyzing and looking at troubled
not being
kids
taken serious,
that are starting to talk in very
or
dark
maybe
ways.
It's fake,
and
like Sandy
it's
Hook,
just talk,
perhaps.
But we have to do a better job of keeping.
I don't
track
believe
of them.
that. I'm just simply saying that's
absolutely
what
that
word
is
right?
High priority for the country. Brad Garrett, Pierre Thomas, Aaron Katursky, and Bob Boyce, thank you very much for being with us. And we take you now back to WKOW coverage. That's our ABC News affiliate in Madison, Wisconsin, after police say there are reports of multiple injuries, 5 dead, including the shooter at that school shooting in Madison.
So he done killed 4 people.
All right, again, Madison Rios here as we're looking up at the monitor as we see officers from MPD outside of that reunification center there across the street from where Madison is. As hopefully families are starting to be reunited. I quickly want to go over some information, what we're learning. Again, this is a developing situation here. I've learned some details about Abundant Life Christian School. It was founded in 1978. It is a community Christian school. It looks like they have about 200 families from their website. Again, this is from their website, about 200 families from 56 different churches here in the greater Dane County area, including metropolitan Madison and surrounding communities. It is a 20-acre campus, so it is a very large campus facility that they have there, and it looks like they have students from kindergarten through 12th grade. So a number of different ages that are at this school, Abundant Life Christian School.
Well, Sean Barnes is saying, too, it is a private Catholic school, right? It is not affiliated with MPD.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say a couple things about that. They just pretty much told us who and what we're dealing with here.
They did.
They pretty much, I think that was what the answers we were looking for. It's on the outskirts, right? The outskirts, church, Christian. I think it's safe.
No one else, private.
20 acres, I think it's safe to say.
14, again, developing story, breaking news, east side of Madison, a really heartbreaking day.
And this happened just before 11 o'clock at 10:57, so we're approaching the 2-hour mark of when this started to unfold here in the Madison area. Again, we know that 5 people are dead, but we don't have any information besides that about who those 5 people might be.
We know the shooter, right, is a juvenile, but they haven't said whether or not it's a male or a female. Sean Barnes, I don't believe he specifically said, yes, they were a student. I think he said he thought they were a student at the school. Again, this is just information that we're going off of from that press conference.
The other report said it was a student at the
school.
school.
Sean Barnes. Is Madison Rios, are you ready to go again? Can we send things back out live to you now? And
absolutely.
Okay, great. Give us a recap. What's
Come on,
happening
Madison. Break it down.
Absolutely. So I had mentioned earlier that the squad cars and the first responders, their sirens are no longer going off. We're still seeing them drive by here. As we discussed earlier, 5 people were killed in this shooting at Abundant Christian Life School. And that includes the juvenile suspect that Madison police believe was the shooter involved in this incident. They have not revealed any details about that shooter other than they were a juvenile. 5 additional people were injured for a total of 10 people that were involved in this incident that we know of so far. Now, we were just briefed by Sean Barnes around 12:15 today, and another briefing is coming around 2:30 at Fire Station 14. As these details are coming in, as everything is developing, they will share that with us when they can. Now, I'm going to step aside here. Right behind me here is the reunification site. I believe that they moved this Madison fire truck here to kind of maintain some privacy for those parents and families who are trying to be reunified with their students. And we're right in front of SSM Health Dean Medical Group. As you can see, police officers are trying to communicate things with people who are trying to reach their loved ones. First responders are there as well. We could see a fire truck is pulling through here, right off of Stoughton Road. Now, Buckeye Road doesn't appear to be closed off from the one end, but if you're coming from Stoughton Road area, they are still redirecting traffic over there. Now, the active shooter threat came in around 11 a.m. And like you had mentioned earlier, Chief Sean Barnes mentioned that their training center, MPD's training center for active shooting incidents, is not too far from here. And it's, he had mentioned this is real life experience that they're putting that training to use. And it's unfortunate that they have to put it to use. You had mentioned that he was not able to comment if there were metal detectors in the school, but he was adamant that there should not be metal detectors in the school because it is a school after all. Now, officers from around the county and the state responded to the scene, found multiple victims with gunshot wounds. As I mentioned earlier, 5 people lost their lives, including the shooter or the suspected shooter, and 5 people are injured. The school is still being cleared, searching all cars, every inch of that school to make sure that everybody is out of that building and anybody remaining in the building is pulled out safely. There is no threat to any MMSD schools at this time. Again, Madison schools went on lockdown at the time of the threat, but there is no ongoing threat at this time. The threat has since been neutralized. We'll keep you guys posted. We'll keep checking in here. And again, at 2:30, they're going to be briefing us again at Fire Station 14 with any additional details that they may have at that time.
Yeah, Madison, you mentioned those schools, and I just want to clarify as well. I got an email from a viewer a couple of minutes ago. Okay. I was calling it a Catholic school. Abundant Life is not a Catholic school. It is a Christian school. No affiliation to MPD. Madison mentioned those schools were on lockdown. No threat to Madison Public Schools. But again, it is a Christian school supported by about 40 churches or so.
And about 15 minutes ago now, we got a statement from Abundant Christian Life here. As it says, prayers requested today. We had an active shooter incident at ALCS. We are in the midst of following up. We will share information as we are able. Please pray for our Challenger family. Again, this is the school that posted this statement about 10 minutes ago on Facebook.
We also know the president has been briefed on what's happening here in the capital city. The White House has confirmed that. Senator Tammy Baldwin also taking to X this morning. She said, I have been briefed on the active shooter at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, and my heart goes out to all of those impacted. My office is in touch with local and state officials, and I stand ready to assist law enforcement and anyone affected. We also heard from Mark Pocan this morning. He wrote, my office is aware of reports of a shooting at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison. We are in touch with local law enforcement and will continue to monitor the situation and offer any assistance we can provide to our first responders. Senator Ron Johnson also responding today, saying my sincere condolences and prayers for all the victims of the tragedy at Abundant Life. I will continue to closely monitor that situation.
So again, this is breaking news here in Madison. Multiple people were hurt after a shooting at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison. 27 News reporter Madison Rios has been on the scene. And Madison, I know when we first went to you about an hour ago, there was a steady flow of traffic. We saw a lot of police vehicles, medical vehicles. What are you seeing right now? Are people still arriving there to that reunification site?
So it looks like
That's the news team at our ABC News affiliate WKOW in Madison, Wisconsin on this school shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. Our coverage will continue after the break.
Our coverage will continue after the break. So after the break of the eggs, the coverage will continue. I think they pretty much told us who it is. It's little Timmy Little Timmy got the gun that is abundantly available within his household.
Period.
And look, and I knew it was little Timmy because Cuz was setting up the bullying right off the bat. Well, sometimes people are bullied.
It's
And
the holiday
yeah,
season.
that's how I knew it wasn't nobody black, because it would have been, we got to get tough on laws. We've got to get those guns, the crime, the guns, the crime, and the guns. But it's bullying. Sometimes there's mental illness. I heard him say that. Didn't he sprinkle that in there too?
That's always going to be the sprinkleth.
It's the mental illness sometimes, and it's not fair. That's how school is. You go, and these kids are not fair. Well, what kind of school was it? Well, it was sitting on like 20 acres. There was horseback riding. There was archery. There was archery. Dang, it seemed like there's no reason for anybody to be stressed around there.
Right, come on now.
They had the haystacks. They did haunted house with the pumpkins and the hay rides. They did all that. Timmy, why you so stressed, fam?
Right.
Why you gotta shoot people up, cuz?
Everybody gotta go.
Or this is another thing though. It could have been a LGBTQth too. Because because they's like, you boy or girl, they, you know what I'm saying? And you know how they don't be wanting to throw bad on the genderage. Chuck's back. Hold on.
We got some breaking news at this hour. At least 4 people.
Look, I don't care who it is. Their name's always Chuck.
After a shooting at Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin, the Abundant Life Christian School there, at least 5 others were injured during this shooting, and they have been transported to nearby hospitals. Authorities are urging people to avoid this area, but they believe there is no ongoing threat. Police are saying the priority now is reuniting students with their parents.
They believe there's no ongoing threat?
That was immediately set up where parents and guardians and loved ones and grandparents wanted to get information about their loved ones, and we wanted to make sure that they were unified immediately. So we were doing more than one thing at one time. We're still going through, collecting evidence, collecting information, making sure that our community is safe from what is a sad day for our community and for our country.
Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers is responding to this shooting, saying, quote, I am closely monitoring the incident at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison. We are praying for the kids, educators, and entire Abundant Life school community as we await more information, and we are grateful for the first responders who are working quickly to respond. Let's bring in ABC News senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky, along with ABC News contributor, former FBI agent Brad Garrett. First, Aaron, what more are we learning from the police at this hour?
I just talked to a police source in Madison who said the gun is a handgun that was used. The ATF is on scene to try and trace it. This was a juvenile shooter, Terry, someone who could not legally purchase a gun. So where the weapon came from is going to be important, whether it was family or somewhere else. The authorities said that the juvenile shooter was dead before police even responded. So this was very, very fast. In that time, the shooter was able to kill 4 people and injure 5 others before taking his or her own life.
That sounds like somebody was Rambo trained. What? So hold on, wait a minute. So you're telling me we got 6-7-year-old Rambo coming into school with the shit across his with it across his shoulder and all of that, with his arm in the sling, letting his fingers walk? Like, what are you talking about? We got Magnum PI. He came in and scoped out 4 people. That's real precise for like a 6-7-year-old.
Why all your references like 30 years old?
Because I don't know any new cop shows.
Gus said Rambo. Gus hit him with the Magnum PI. Golly.
I'm just saying.
What are we in 1985?
I was gonna say Spencer for Hire.
Wow.
How about Miami Vice? I
Hold
don't
on.
know.
People know Miami Vice because of that movie. Hold on.
I don't
And Spencer
know.
for Hire did the new one. Hold on. Who remembers First Blood who's watching this right now? Rambo. He mentioned
Well,
Rambo.
hold on. I looked at the analytics, fam.
Magnum PI, y'all.
No, wait a minute, fam. I looked at the analytics. We got some youngers, but it's mostly like 38, 40 up and up, like our age, kind of. So yeah, they get the references, fam. Don't do me, fam. Nah,
30,
don't do.
30 means they was just being boring, P.
Hey, I'm saying, but
they may
so okay,
may know the reference.
So what I should have said. We got a 7-year-old coming into school like John Wick.
Yep, there you go.
There you go. All right.
There you go.
All right, touche. I give you that. I give you
that. Said Magnum PI.
But I'm just saying though. Man. All right. So, but I'm saying, let's get back to it though. So you meaning to tell me that we got 7-year-old John Wickerberry, or even if even if it's 7-year-old Laura Croft. You like that? You like that?
Right.
You like that? You like that? Okay.
I don't think it's Laura though.
Nah. We got another. Hold on. I don't even think they can see the graphic. Y'all see that graphic right there? Kyle, the shooter. We got the graphic right there behind there. Yeah, there you go. Y'all got a quick glimpse of your boy. This is called Kyle Files, y'all. And every time that there's a shooting, it's a Kyle file because he's the one that started. Matter of fact, let me show y'all. Music TV. That is super duper funny. That is hilarious.
I can't even lie to you.
All right, y'all. Back to the thing in progress. Take it away, Chuck. What'd you say?
Can they bring how they're going to assist in this investigation?
So clearly, ATF have their hands, so to speak, on this weapon. They'll run a trace of it. They'll figure out where it originated, where it was purchased. Has it been stolen? Is it registered, or was it purchased by somebody where this shooter lived, which many times it sadly is the case, in particular younger juveniles, but we'll see. The FBI could maybe help from a technology standpoint. Phones, internet, sometimes smaller departments need help with technology issues. It may not be the case, but they'll be there to do that. They're also there to help them forensically and even processing the scene if they so desired, but at the very least offering some insight about what to send and how to have it tested. And so that would be another aspect. And the third probably would be, are there leads that need to be covered that are outside the immediate Madison or in particular Wisconsin area where they could get agents, well, literally any place around the world, to go interview people. So it's sort of a combination, but it would be what little we know about this, Terry, this is going to be a local shooting. Probably it doesn't have any sort of tentacles or direct tentacles outside probably of Madison, Wisconsin. But if there were, the FBI would then certainly follow up on those.
Man,
right.
boy,
Federal resources can do a lot, although at the end of the day, it may be, as you say, a local shooting. Aaron, I understand you have some new information, some new numbers for us on victims in this shooting. What can you tell us?
Terry, you heard the police update in their news conference to say that 4 were dead plus the shooter. Now they're revising the number downward. The Madison Police Department said that the numbers are shifting. It's an active scene. They believe it's 2 dead, as initially said, plus the shooter, for a total of 3. So the juvenile shooter shot and killed 2 people at the school before taking his or her own life. And the rest of the victims appear to be injured. They're currently in varying conditions at the hospital.
Got it. Good. So that, one hates to say good news, but the number of dead victims reduced from 4 to 2. And that's the latest from the Madison Police Department. Aaron and Brad, thank you very much for that.
All right. So now they go on the minimization station. Like it's not that bad. We'll keep y'all updated. It's Keep P Podcast. You already know how we get down. I need y'all to do a few things for me. I need you to go ahead and subscribe for the vibes. I need you to like for the spike. I need you to comment your vomit. I need you to share if you care. I got getting Black empowerment everywhere. Please do that on the platforms that we own. Young Jones. And I leave you with love, peace, blessings, and aloha, because I am out the Doha for sure. You already know. Yickety.
Music TV.